guys so much. The time when I'm coming on right now is the time when I'm supposed to be finishing, but I'm going to get my talk in because I worked on this and I've got some information that I think you all will benefit from. Anyhow, I always like to start off business meetings by asking people to first start out by maybe being a little bit vulnerable. And I want to ask a question of all of us that have companies inside of here, of who is a business owner right now that might be struggling? Who's someone that's saying, you know what, times are hard, business is challenging, 8 out of 10 are failing these days. Who in here right now might be having some struggles in business? Anyone out there? Stand up here real quick. Thank you guys for all being so honest. Tell me your name again. Xavier. Xavier, I want on the count of 3, every single one of us to stand up to our feet and give Xavier a huge standing ovation and applause, because it's not easy out there, especially being young in business. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
X-Man.
Xavier just whispered to me that was awesome. I think that when you give someone encouragement, you can't help but be encouraged yourself. And probably the number one thing I'm known probably around in this city as of late is encouragement. I believe that encouragement is like oxygen to our souls. And if you're a business owner, you need every bit of encouragement you can get. So I want to jump in real quick, and they talked about some mistakes business owners were making. One of the mistakes I've seen a lot of people make when it comes to business and coaching them, teaching them how to get from point A to point B, is they're doing the right things, but they're doing them in the wrong order. And here's what I mean. I don't want to pick on anybody's pitches because y'all's were good, but I've been to some networking events or even some pitch functions where the pitches were substantially off point. No one could really figure out what is it that they do again, and I think it's because internally we don't know exactly what we do. And so the 3 tips I'm going to go over with today, I'm going to kind of give you the order I'm going to suggest you do these things in, because I think we're all, when it comes to networking, we're going to the networking events, but we're not nailing our pitch before we get to the networking events. And so that's why the very first secret that I think everyone needs to know about business, and it's a secret because a lot of folks out there are getting it wrong, is you've got to perfect your pitch. Damon John, Shark Tank, was recently here in San Antonio last week. And he is the king of teaching people to get to the point. And let me encourage everyone, the slides that are going to be up here today, please take pictures of them, please take notes of them. I'm going to talk fast because, again, that's how I talk. And also because we're a little bit late on time. But the very first secret is you've got to hone your pitch. And when it comes to that is you've got to figure out, what do you do? What exactly do you do? I've got a 1-minute video that's a little bit comical.
Dave, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Well, I'm an executive assistant at a major pet products company. Dave, I don't want you to tell us what you do. I want you to tell us who you are. Oh, all right. I'm a pretty good guy. I like playing tennis on occasion. Also, not your hobbies, Dave. Just simple. Tell us who you are. Maybe you could give me an example of what a good answer is. What did you say? You want Lou to tell you who you are. No, I'm a nice, easy-going man. I might be a little bit indecisive at times.
Dave, you're describing your personality. I want to know who you are.
I don't know what the hell you want me to say. I'm sorry. I don't want to answer your question. It's not doing it right, I guess.
I think we're getting a picture. Dave.
Although that's comical, and I did put the video up to make you laugh, I've spent entire strategy sessions with clients with a massive whiteboard in front of us trying to figure out, what do you do? What do you do? And this may sound simple, but Jim Rome taught us what's simple to do is simple not to do. So you have to absolutely nail what you do, and then the next thing is, who do you do it for? Who is it that you're serving? Who's your customer? They call it in the online business these days your customer avatar. What does your customer look like? What items do they buy? Where are they shopping for these items? Are they married? Are they not married? You know, where do they come from? What are their hobbies? Obviously, they didn't want to know Adam Sandler's hobbies, but what are their hobbies? And then some people say this is the most important part, but I disagree. I think you need to figure out what you do and who you do it for. But then you need to figure out for yourself why you do it. Why are you getting up in the morning? Why are you fighting through traffic with a car that was cut in half on 1604 and I-10 right now to come out and learn some ideas to network with other people? Why are you doing this? Why? They call it when your willpower gets low, you have to move to your why power. Why are you doing this? Again, I couldn't help but being with the Shark Tank person was right here in town yesterday. Damon, I was able to give him my pitch, and he told me, not bad. So I don't know if that means not good. When it comes to delivering your pitch, you get 1/10 of a second before someone starts making an opinion about you. And this is through science, through research, through studies. And what is it that you think people are forming an opinion about in 1/10 of a second? The answer is this: your appearance. The overwhelming majority of our frontal cortex, the way that we're hardwired, the way that we're programmed, is the way people appear in front of us. So it's really important to get to the point and make that strong first impression. Because the problem with attention these days is a lot of us are ADHD to the 18th degree, if you will, because there's so many different things going on. And our attention muscles have atrophied. They're not strong. They've got arms like this gentleman right here. And we're losing our ability to stay focused on something. Learning how to stay disciplined and stay focused on a task, and understanding that when you made the decision to start something, you also made the decision to finish it. It wasn't two decisions. That's one decision. Start what you finish. The next thing, and this goes back to things that beg for our attention. Facebook these days is rampant. And I'm going to talk about how we can use that to our advantage as opposed to our disadvantage. But you need to make certain when it comes to social media, when it comes to email, when it comes to the communications, that you're making that work for you, not against you. Because I think we'll find an epidemic in the years to come because of these social media sources that's taken people away from their careers. And this goes back again, we are addicted to distractions. There's a lot of different things going on in our lives. And a Microsoft study, I don't know why they were studying it, perhaps for their employees, discovered that a goldfish has a longer attention span than human beings do. Because a goldfish can actually maintain focus for 9 seconds, as opposed to a human being can only do it for 8 seconds. And if you're not making an impact in that 1/10 of a second, and then delivering something that might pique their attention in that 8 seconds, you're out of there. And so in order to do the right things in the right order, you've got to practice what this pitch is going to be. Use your phone, record it, listen back to it, and hear how it sounds. Practice in front of the mirror. Practice while you're sitting in traffic and driving down the road. Well, this is what I do. And find different things. Find some people that will be around you that will be sounding boards, because your pitch is extremely important. And you'll also notice when you're pitching yourself, what you're saying is not nearly as important as how you're saying it. I've been to several events where people get up there with a folded arm and, they're looking down at their shoes and they're delivering what they do. That's not the way to do it. Confidently deliver your product. Confidently tell people what you do. Don't slouch. Posture is important. And make sure that your reflection inside of your voice says that you believe in what you're selling as much as you're trying to sell the person to believe in buying it. Going niche is important, And the reason why you'll see marketing is written vertical is because nobody, not Coca-Cola, not Apple, can afford to market to everybody. You have to figure out who your target customer is and market to them. Seth Godin is one of my all-time favorite authors, one of my favorite podcasters, one of my favorite business minds of the day. And I love Seth when he talks about, we all know that not everyone can be our customers. There's some people that don't care about the environment. They can care less. And so that's not a good customer for someone who might be selling an environment-friendly product. And then the way you're judged, and maybe Damon John's show that I failed the test, but the way that you're judged when you give your presentation is if you hear 3 magical words, which is, tell me more. I think a lot of us, when it comes to presenting our business and presenting our business opportunities, we want to verbally vomit all over people by giving them as much information as possible and telling them what we do. The job is to pique their interest. They might see what you look like or who you're talking to and what offer that your business may have and say, I want to find out more about that person. And that's probably the most important thing that you can do when it comes to pitching yourself and pitching your product. And so when it comes to doing the right things in the right order, nail your pitch. Nail what you do. Say it in your sleep. And so that way when you meet somebody, you can instantly deliver, this is what I do. But you've got to answer it for yourself. What do you do? And who do you do it for? The next secret is fail fast. And this might be contrary to what many business people will teach. And I believe that the sooner you fail, hopefully the sooner you can move on. Another Shark Tank lady, Barbara Cockrell, she says that the largest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people take less time feeling sorry for themselves. And I absolutely love that, because we're going to have setbacks, we're going to have struggles, but when we sit down and play the poor little old me card, we're not going to get anywhere. Silicon Valley, where probably some of the greatest minds of this century has came, their mantra is fail early, fail fast, and fail often. This is straight out of the founders of Google, of Apple, Microsoft, and we can go on and on. Bob Brown says, behind every successful person, behind every successful person, there's a lot of unsuccessful years. I think that back with social media again, all we see is what people want us to see. All we see is the successful years. We don't see the struggles and the setbacks and the hardships that people went through to become successful. So a fallacy I believe that many people have in business is that they look at people that are substantially ahead of them and they think that it's always been like that. They think this person's always had clients. They didn't see that person like Letty and I that are in the office until 8, 9 o'clock sometimes on the weekends. When it comes to owning a business and working for yourself, you have to understand that you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And I love to tell people, especially young business owners, Xavier, if you'll live the first few years of your life in business like most people wouldn't, you can live the rest of your life like most people couldn't. But that comes from tremendous, ridiculous sacrifice and discipline. Another great thing maybe to write down for your notes is this. Short-term discomfort will almost always produce long-term happiness. And that's more true in business than maybe any other environment. Warren Buffett, we all know him as one of the greatest investors of all time. However, Warren Buffett's had some of the largest failures that any of us could ever imagine. Warren Buffett has recently lost nearly $10 billion by betting on oil. He wrote that he was wrong with ConocoPhillips when he bought oil at the high and it was trading at, 40 to 50 a barrel? Today it's at 30. The man is an epic failure if you look at him and look at what he's lost, he said he wished he would have never even heard of Berkshire Hathaway. Came in his book, The Snowball Effect. Berkshire Hathaway was something that he lost so much money on, but nobody knows that. They fail to realize all the setbacks that Warren Buffett went through to become probably today one of the top 5 wealthiest people on the planet. He says he wished he would have never even heard of Berkshire Hathaway. And that's probably why this shows 99% of his wealth came after his 50th birthday. So we all have hope. Which means, he failed early. And he's still failing. So failure isn't something that we need to look at this horrible thing. As long as we dissect the lessons from our failure, you can learn so much and start over again more intelligently. Another person, probably one of the more successful people in the last 25 years, is Charles Branson. And you look at Virgin Cola, Virgin Vodka, Virgin Cosmetics. Maybe he needs to change the first name. But failure after failure after failure of products. He's a billion-dollar failure. He's lost billions. But yet, he's left his dent and his legacy on this world. What he said, the more you make more mistakes than anybody else, you win. But you need to make sure that when you're making mistakes, they're original mistakes. Because something about life is, they'll continue to give you the exact same lesson over and over and over again until you learn it. I love what Les Brown says. It'll stay in your face until you go through it with grace. And that just means whatever obstacles, whatever struggles you're going through in your business, you're going to have to learn the lessons and grow through them. Founder of IBM, this gentleman took it from a garage to a worldwide giant. Says the key to success is massive failure. Sometimes Napoleon Hill talked about in his talks, the larger the failure, the larger the success, as long as you allow the failure not to germinate inside of your mind and dwell on it. That's important. I think that this is my poor drawing of a pendulum. I think when it comes to life and success in business, it's almost like cold calling. The more rejection you get on cold calls, the further that pendulum swings over to the failure side, the more it's going to swing over to the success side. So understand that when it comes to failing in business and when it comes to making mistakes and blunders, as long as you get a fresh start and as long as you're not entirely knocked out of the game, failure can probably be your greatest asset. So when you leave here today, go call some prospects that may tell you no. More of them are going to tell you no than are going to tell you yes. But understand that you'll get to the yeses. As long as you don't take that no to heart, you'll get to the yeses. Because you're good people, you have good products, you have good intentions, and you can provide something that people need. The number one thing that every salesperson must do is solve a problem. So go solve people's problems and do it in a way that will benefit their lives. Understand that falling down is how we grow, but staying down is how we die. So when you have a setback, that's why I always like to start out with who's going through some struggles, who's having adversity to the largest degree. When you fall down, that's okay, that's normal. And here's something else, here's a newsflash. Wanting to give up is fine, but giving up is not. It's okay to want to sometimes because we all go through difficult situations. So, with the second secret, fail fast, learn to love failure. Learn to love the mistakes that you make and learn to learn from the mistakes that you make so that way you can start over again more intelligently with better information. I like to tell people sometimes I'm smarter than I was yesterday. And that's the truth because I'm constantly improving my skills and my abilities. The last thing is, every business owner must get massive attention. The reason why we were able to fill this event in a couple of days is because of my social media streams, and we blasted this out and said, hey guys, we're going to have a networking opportunity where you're going to have a chance to come in and meet like-minded people, hear some secrets to business success. And I was telling some people earlier, in the late 90s when I started doing events. I would have to go to a Chamber of Commerce, get their list, or buy a list from a marketing company, send out postcards, and then call the people and see if they would come to my event. It would be a couple-month process, hundreds of dollars, and an extraordinary amount of time. We put something up on 2 social media links, Facebook and Meetup, and the next thing we know, we have to tell people, hey guys, we're full, unfortunately we can't take any more people. So getting massive attention is every business owner's dream, because if people don't know you, if they don't know who you are, if they're not going to listen to you, they will never buy from you. And never before has it been easier to get massive attention because of Silicon Valley and because of technology. I tell people, and this actually if you don't exist on the internet, you don't exist. People need to be able to find you on there. They feel a sense of security when they can look up your company and they can find reviews, they can see other people using it, and they can look at whatever links and see recent and relative content. That's how you get attention. And again, there's never been an easier time. And social media can be daunting to some people. I know one of the things that I struggled with for a while is, which social media outlets do I go with? And then, when do I post things? What do I post things? And without sounding too salesy, how do I make sure people understand this is my business and this is the customers that I'm looking for? So, making certain that we're not doing the right things in the wrong order, before you start getting massive attention, before you start putting yourself and your business out there, make sure that you get your branding straight. And what I mean by your branding, every single one of you are a brand. Every single one of you are a business. So make certain that you're displaying yourself and your business and who you are as professional as possible. Because the key to anything is consistency. Make certain that when they go look at your LinkedIn profile and information, it jives with your Facebook, with your Instagram, with your Pinterest, with your Google+. Make sure that so that when someone says, oh, I like following this guy on LinkedIn, they put some good stuff out there. Let me go check and see what types of things they're doing on Twitter. And you've got a whole different persona, you've got a whole different image. People will say, well, maybe I won't follow them there, or who is this person? Maybe I shouldn't be following them on LinkedIn any longer. So make sure that it's consistent. And the imagery, your picture of who you are, of what you display, needs to be omnipresent throughout all of your links, so that when you're going around through business meetings, they already know you. They know who you are. I'll finish. And then I tell people, use social media to impact people. Don't use it to impress them. I mean, every one of us, have good days and have bad days. Make certain that if you're going to put something out there, it's to help somebody's lives, it's to promote your business, or it's to encourage somebody else. And back to the ability to get massive attention. This event, again, sold out in a couple days, with people coming here early in the morning when they have children to get ready to school, when they have prospecting that they need to be doing, because of how powerful and impactful social media can be. And one of the things that I'm probably most proud of that I was able to create just recently is a way that when you post something on Facebook or whatever it might be, I can shoot it out to every one of these avenues. And this is powerful, and I invented this because I wanted it for myself. If someone would have told me years ago that, Jeremy, you can post an image and some content on your Facebook, and instantly it will go to your Pinterest, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Flickr, and your Google+, I would have been all over it. Because there's no way I can go do something here, go do something there. It's absolutely impossible. And if you look at the numbers on social media these days, it's staggering. You've got 400 million monthly users on LinkedIn, 1.5 billion monthly users on Facebook, 1.4 billion monthly users Google+, and you can see the numbers. They're significant. But I put a star on Instagram, and that's not their logo, but I want to make sure that a lot of people might think this is for kids. They might think that Instagram is not the place that they need to be. But I'm here to tell you, as an expert at social media and having 1.6 million people view my content in 2016, that Instagram is a place for every business right now. And the reason why is because it's the only organic feed that's left. Right now, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, they decide who sees what. But Instagram is still new. Instagram is still trying to grow. And if you want to get exposure for your business and you want to dial in to your demographic, you must do some research and figure out how to get your business there on Instagram, because it is absolutely key. I'll finish up, but afterwards today, because I believe social media is so important to getting you attention, to making sure that people know who you are, making sure that you're omnipresent. If you want to meet with me when I'm done, I'll be more than happy to set a time to go over your social media outlets with you and give you any advice, some of the things that have worked for me, so that way people will know who you are and then they can buy from you. But in conclusion, I always want to tell people, again, in business, it's not easy out there. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have setbacks. That's just the way it works. But I'm also going to let you know that someone here may be thinking about quitting, and I'm going to tell you, you're closer than you think you are. And the moment you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want automatically shows up in your life. Thank you, guys.